Hi Cancer, this is your May 5th or the 11th weekly tarot reading. We'll have 5 separate spreads in this weekly reading. In the first spread, we'll be looking at new love entering your life. Spread number 2 is for those of you who are already in a relationship or married. In the third spread, we'll see if anybody wants to get back together with you. After that, in spread number 4, we'll talk about your work, your business, and your finances. And the fifth spread will be what you're not expecting to happen this week. Please like, comment, and subscribe to support this channel. This first spread is a new love this week, Cancer. Or is it new? It could be new for you, new to you. Could be news to you. Anyway, so we got the Page of Swords clarified by the Five of Cups. We have the Ace of Cups clarified by the Page of Pentacles. We have the Star. In the potential outcome, we have the Sun with the Chariot and the Eight of Wands, and we also have the Fool on the bottom of the deck. You could be dealing with an Aquarius, Leo, Aries, perhaps even another Cancer, or absolutely any zodiac sign. So here's what I want to say. I wouldn't be surprised if this person is somebody whom you already know. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised. Perhaps you even went on a date in the past, but they dropped the ball, or something got in the way, or maybe they wanted to ask you out on a date in the past, but they never did, for whatever reason. And they've been regretting it ever since, and they've been watching you ever since. If this is a new person entering your life, they're not going to ask you on a date right away. Okay, perhaps they just want to collect the information, or maybe they're still haunted by a previous failed relationship or previous failed marriage, and it's kind of still stopping them a little bit, or has been stopping them. And at some point during this week, they will take that leap of faith. They will still ask you out on a date. So let me interpret this real quick. So we start with the Page of Swords clarified by the Five of Cups, all right? And we have the Fool on the bottom of the deck. The Fool could be an Aries you're dealing with, but the Fool is a card of taking a leap of faith, shooting their shot, rolling the dice, however you want to call it. But the Page of Swords clarified by the Five of Cups, the Page of Swords is a card of keeping tabs, watching somebody. Okay, so perhaps you're on social media, perhaps you're connected on social media, they've been watching you, maybe they see you every once in a while in person. Maybe you two work in the same building, or maybe you two go grocery shopping to the same store. Your paths perhaps cross every once in a while, right? The Five of Cups, clarifying that Page of Swords. The Five of Cups has always to do with the past. Okay? This is a card of grief, regret, disappointment. That has to do with the past. So for some of you, again, maybe you already tried in the past, or maybe they tried to ask you out on the date, or maybe they even did, right? But it just fell through at some point in the past for whatever reason. Or that Five of Cups has nothing to do with you. It has something to do with what happened to this person and another person at some point in the past. It could have been a breakup, it could have been a failed marriage, a divorce, and that's been kind of haunting them a little bit. And perhaps they've been stalling, right? Maybe they've been watching you to make sure it's safe for them to approach you, Cancer. Anyway, so here they come with that Fool card, taking that leap of faith, and the Ace of Cups clarified by the Page of Pentacles next to that Page of Swords, right? The Ace of Cups and the Page of Pentacles, yeah, this is them confessing their love to you, or it could be like a very loving, very romantic gesture. The Page of Pentacles, it could be like tickets to a show, tickets to a game. They could take you out to like a fancy restaurant or what have you. Whenever I see 2 or more pages in a reading, I always bring up children. All right, maybe you're a single parent, they're a single parent too. It could be like a play date, but it's not necessarily the case. But again, whenever a couple of pages show up, I always bring that up. So keep that in mind. The Star in the middle could be an Aquarius here, John, but the Star is a card of a wish come true. It is a card of a wish come true. It's also a card of healing, by the way. It is a card of healing. So if there was some kind of a failure in the past, it's not going to be an issue anymore. But the Star is an amazing card. It really is. It's a major arcana card. And we do have, 4 major arcana cards. The Fool was one of them. And then we have the Star and 2 more in the potential outcome. So yeah, in the potential outcome and in the middle right there, that's you. That's your major arcana card, the Chariot, unless you're dealing with another Cancer. And it's always a good sign to have your own major arcana card in your own reading, in your potential outcome especially, because that's you in your own potential outcome with this individual, right? The Sun to the left from the Chariot could be a Leo you're dealing with, but it is a card of clarity, and out of all 78 cards that we have on a standard tarot deck, that one, the Sun, is the happiest one. Is the happiest one in the entire deck, right? The 8 of Wands right next to the deck. What's interesting about this is that if we forget for a second that the Chariot is one of your major arcana cards, the Chariot is one of the fastest cards in the deck, and the same can be said about the 8 of Wands, right? Those two are very, very high-paced, very speedy cards. So maybe you two will it'll just take off like a rocket, right? Or maybe the two of you will be moving together, or maybe the two of you will go travel together, all right? But the 8 of Wands is also a card of the Cupid's arrows, right? So the love trend continues, right? The Ace of Cups is all about love, and the 8 of Wands is also a very loving card. It's a very fast-paced, very speedy card, but it's also the Cupid's arrows card. So this gift will just keep on giving, I guess. All right, Cancer, really happy for you. Congratulations. If you are already in a relationship or married, Cancer, this spread is for you. We have the 9 of Wands clarified by the 6 of Cups, the Chariot, the Knight of Pentacles clarified by the 6 of Wands, and the Ace of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. You could be dealing with an Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I don't know if you watched the first spread, the new love spread, so there was an element of the past in the first spread. And this spread, the spread for couples, for people already in a relationship or married, also has an element of the past, right? With the 9 of Wands clarified by the 6 of Cups in the beginning. So, you know what it feels like? It feels like maybe, I think it has something, first of all, it has something to do with money, with finances, all right? Or maybe buying something, purchasing something, right? And perhaps in the past you got burnt by something. Maybe you invested money into something and that fell through, or you didn't make as much money in the past, or maybe you made a bad purchase in the past, and you've been kind of still recovering from it, or maybe now you're going to be like extra careful when it comes to money, investments, purchases, right? And there's going to be an opportunity, a financial opportunity this week, all right? And I think you're going to take it, but you're going to do like research. You're going to make sure you're not making the same mistake. And this time, yeah, you're going to educate yourself, and this is going to be a good investment. That's what it seems like, because we do have the Knight of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles is clarified by the 6 of Wands. Both of those two cards, the Knight of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles, could be financial cards. Okay, and it kind of feels like, yes, some kind of a purchase or investment, something long term. Okay, the Ace of Pentacles is a golden opportunity. It's the real deal, and the Knight of Pentacles is the most financially stable, financially abundant knight out of all 4 knights. The 6 of Wands, clarifying that, is a card of a victory and success. Okay, the Chariot in the middle, that's your major arcana card, and it's also a card of a victory and success. All right, so I'm not saying you should, you know, put your money or invest your money, but do your research, right? And if you feel like this is the right thing to do, then go for it. All right, cool. Let's see if anybody comes back from the past for you, Cancer, this week. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be the most recent ex. We have the Page of Cups, clarified by the 6 of Swords, the 2 of Cups, the King of Swords, and Judgment on the bottom of the deck. You could be dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. I believe it's a reconciliation, Cancer, between you and this King of Swords. It doesn't have to be if you don't want it to be, but the universe will put you two in the same room, in the same location, or one of you will reach out to the other, right? By the way, if you feel like reaching out, go ahead, yeah? And it's like, you know how it feels? It feels like nobody's holding a grudge. You know, it feels nice and warm and lovey-dovey, to be honest with you, right? Because we got the Page of Cups, the 2 of Cups, the 6 of Wands. These are all cards are like very enthusiastic cards in terms of getting back together. Like whatever happened between the two of you, water under the bridge. That's how it feels with those three cards. And the King of Swords, yeah, that's the person, most likely an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or somebody with some major air placements in their chart. Judgment on the bottom of the deck. It is a card of having to make a judgment call, but it's also a card of somebody coming back from the past. Right? Judgment does show up when exes resurface, reappear, right? And with all the other cards, I think it's a reconciliation. All right, cool. Let's talk about your work, your business, and your finances, Cancer, this week. We have the 10 of Wands clarified by the 2 of Wands, the 3 of Wands, the 2 of Cups, and the 2 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. This whole reading is a process of somebody going through a very tough decision-making process. Somebody is going through some kind of a decision-making, selection-making process. And as a result of that, there's going to be a handshake, a contract, signatures on paper, partnership, alliance. Basically, two people or two parties coming together in some kind of an agreement. That's what the 2 of Cups is right next to the deck. And that was the very, very last card that came out. So at the end of the day, there's going to be a contract or some kind of an agreement or handshake. That's what I usually call the 2 of Cups. When it comes to work, business, and finances, I usually interpret it as a handshake card, an agreement. All right? All the cards on the table, including the 2 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, all of them put together, it's a process. Somebody having to make a difficult choice, difficult selection. Right? But again, with the 2 of Cups, there's going to be an agreement reached. Okay, and it could be, if you run your own business, maybe you're merging with another company, or maybe you're selecting a new vendor, a new supplier, or something like that. All right, if you don't run your own company, perhaps you're being promoted, perhaps you're being hired, or something like that. Or the other way around, maybe you have a couple of job offers on your lap. Right? Maybe a couple of them landed in your lap, and both companies want you, both of them want to hire you, and now you have to select one of them. Okay? But yeah, again, for the 10th time, there's going to be an agreement and handshake at the end. All right? Cool. Let's see what you're not expecting to happen this week, Cancer, but I think at this point you're already expecting it. We have the 8 of Wands, clarified by the Page of Wands, the 3 of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, clarified by the King of Swords, and the 6 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. You could be dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. This is simply a repeat of the love from the past spread. Okay, so maybe what you're not expecting is how you're meeting this person, or where you're meeting this person. Okay, or maybe you will reach out to them, or they'll reach out to you. The King of Swords showed up at the end again. Okay, and prior to this King of Swords, we do have a lot of communication, right? The 8 of Wands, the Page of Wands, these are all communication cards. The 3 of Cups could be a reunion, or could be some kind of a party, an event, gathering of some sort. You know, as long as there are people gathering together, getting together and celebrating. Okay, could be a happy hour. The 6 of Cups on the bottom of the deck, it is a card of somebody from the past, right? And the Ace of Pentacles is clarified by that King of Swords. So the Ace of Pentacles is a serious card, serious offer, an opportunity, a golden opportunity, right? So yeah. Whenever I see repeating spreads, repeating messages from different decks, you know, must be something worth considering. All right, so we saw a reconciliation in the love from the past reading, and this kind of looks like a reconciliation as well. All right, so that's what I have for you, Cancer, for this reading for this week. If this video resonates with you, please like it. Please also comment and subscribe. And other than that, Cancer, have an amazing week.